Good morning, guys. Good morning. We'll start in 2 minutes. Questions, tickers, you can throw them in the comment box. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Trader Daddy? Guys, we'll start in 60 seconds. Questions, tickers, throw them in the comment box. Get to as many of them as I can. If I don't get to them, you can always come to my free Discord. Tag me in there and I'll give you a chart. Hope everybody's doing well. I've got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to cover, folks. So stay with me. Got a pre-market volume leader too at the end. All right. One second. Posting my pre-market volume leader to my free Discord for you guys. Trade plan for that. And it's posted. All right, guys. Good morning. Happy 21st of October. What is today? Man, I'm losing track of time. Tuesday. And we'll get into it. All right, so as I fly through the report, you can put tickers, questions in the comment box. I'm also broadcasting live on YouTube if you want to follow me there at Student Alpha One. If you want to see the charts horizontally. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the S&P 500. So this is the futures product ES/MES. Open price was 67.79. High a day 67.85. Low a day 67.62. Resistance at high a day up here, and then 6,800. Support at low a day, and then 6,700. Kind of wide, right? The bias is long above this white line. So the guys in my war room know that the white line is our bias, meaning we take longs above that white line, shorts below it. And actually our next long read is this VWAP support into that. So right around 67.75. We'll call it live in the war. We are getting some VWAP support. You want to make sure this holds before you enter your read. Trade to system universal levels are still 6,800, but as low as 6,500 on the buy side. RTY M2K, that's the Russell 2000. Open price 25.15. High day 25.19. Low day 25.04. What's that tell you? It means Rachel, that's RTY. We lovingly call her Rachel, is in a very tight channel. Resistance at high day, and then 25.50, which would be an all-time high. Support at low day, and 24.90, which is the bottom of the 2,500 diamond. And the bias is, I have short. Did I put that in there wrong? Let's look at something. Sometimes the coffee doesn't fully kick in the morning. Let's look. The bias is long. Bias is long above 25.05, and it's pretty tight, right? Yeah, so we're taking longs above this white line. So we could get a bias flip today in RTY, or a bias challenge. We talk about that in our war room. You want to be there. It's 7 days free in my VIP. You can trade with us. Universal levels are 2,400 and 2,600. 2,500 is not consequential anymore, guys. We've crossed it too often. Gold, holy shit. Let's talk about metals. Are you seasick yet from the movement in metals? I'm just curious, folks. Just been crazy. Right? I've sat on my hands on a number of these moves. I've made a lot of money on the others. So, yeah, the beta's high. I've got specific directions for my VIPs. Make sure you're in there so you know exactly what to do in this environment. All right, let's talk about gold. Man, switch my chart out. Who built these charts? Who did that? There we go, folks. All right. So gold for XAU, if you were a spot trader on the Forex pairing, subtract 13 from these numbers. They're relatively close. Matter of fact, this drop right here, this wick, means that we are challenging the diamond, that 4,200 psychological level in both spot and futures, which is going to be significant, right? All right. So open price 43.71. High day 43.93. This thing ran up to 43.98 and then dropped like a rock. Guys, if you don't understand my red box strategies on these mean reversions into all-time highs, you just got to, I mean, on this mean reversion right here, if you would have traded on one contract, you would have paid for 5 years of membership in my Discord. I mean, I don't know what you want. So, all right. Anyway, so open price 43.71, high day 43.93, low day 42.25, which is now lower, which is 42.02. Resistance at high day in 43.90, support at low day in 41.91. So we are entering the resistance or support field. All right, right where she's at, and below that 4100. So if this breaks, it's going to gap down pretty quick. Yeah. We're short bias below the white line at 43.18. There's really no buys until above that, unless we're mean reverting the opposite side of this. And I think those are going to be some pretty good strategies today, just in the width that it's been moving. Yeah, Dan, metals have been nuts. We've made a bunch of money on it, but I've instructed my students to down leverage, and they're still doing well. So you got to widen your brackets with this much beta. The beta will rip your face off, right? So anyway, the daily's still long, guys, in these. Even though we're getting these high beta moves, the daily's still long. The trend is still upward until proven otherwise. May take another day or two, a downtrending before we break the daily bias. All right, silver. Let's get into silver. Here we go. All right, for XAG, we're in backwardation, guys. That means that there's a supply issue on the front end here. So that means buyers are willing to pay higher prices today than in the future. So you got to add 90 cents to this for, look at that, we tapped 48 perfectly overnight, right? I did a big Zoom meeting yesterday and told folks that they need to set skunk orders, and a lot of people got filled. Skunk orders mean a ridiculously low amount below where it's at because of the volatility. But add 90 cents for the underlying. Open price 51.33, high day 51.62, low days 58.07. Resistance at high day and then 52. The bias is short, or support at 47 actually below, and then the bias short below that white line at 50.20. And we can overcome that really quickly. I mean, it's just moving in an astronomical amount. I've got traders that are just sitting out of metals right now because it's just moving too hard. It's like not getting on a boat when in the middle of a hurricane, right? It's fine. We can find other assets that move slower. All right. It's also a good time to practice on paper, move away from real money, and get experience in these turbulent times. I've traded turbulent times like this before, and I have experience to know to down leverage, widen brackets, and stay out. All right, so let's get into XPT and Platinum. All right, if you have questions or tickers, tell me, I'll get to it in just a second. I'll do what I can. If not, you can go to my free Discord and I can answer your questions there. All right, so for the underlying XPT USD, subtract 11 from these numbers. Open price 16.53, high a day 16.68, low a day 15.55. That's a $100 move in platinum, which is pretty significant for platinum because platinum moves a lot slower. But all the beta is increasing on all these metals. Resistance at 1600 before high a day, and then support at low a day in 1510. We're finding some support here temporarily at 1550. I don't know that it holds if this downtrend continues, although buyers will be hungry on all metals on the Asian session drop. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a percentage of this buyback. It's a great time to use Fibonacci's on percentages, guys. What's a Fibonacci? Buy my course. All right, offer money back guarantee on that course, guys. We're short below 1620 below that line, and we're hunting short. So our next short opportunity is going to be around 1575. All right, the NYMO oscillators are negative 11 equally. They're not consequential until I say they are, but they're great for mean reversion. And VIX has cooled off slightly at 18. 5. That does mean buying, but very slow buying. As we approached 20 in that and above, it's selling. As VIX cools down closer to the lower teens, that's accelerated buying. Swing trades, I won't bring up the charts to save time here, but Tesla is currently at 445. NVIDIA is currently at 183. That resistance field starts at the all-time high at 195 to 200. Intel's 38.35. I gave you my trade plan for that yesterday, guys. I want to be out by Thursday. I'm going to exit this trade by Thursday. I have brackets in. The top TP is 42. If we hit it before that, and I'm not monitoring, otherwise I will flatten my position and not hold through earnings. But I will buy back if earnings drops off hard because I like the thesis for a year out. BBAI is at 755. I've got buy alerts at $6, starting at 6. QBTS is dropping. I got a lot of people panicking on QBTS. So let's bring up QBTS. If I had $1 for every DM that I had about this ticker, I wouldn't need to trade. So, and also before I take it off here, Ethereum's at 39.16. Until proven otherwise, it is downtrending from its all-time high. I said this. I don't know. I wanted to break that all-time high. Our crypto expert says it will see 5,000 again before it sees 2,000. But we're in a downtrend. This is called a secondary trend because the primary trend is long. But the secondary trend is downtrending until we take out, we re-enter this red box. It's a downtrend, folks. I hate to say it because I own a ton of it. But anyway, let's look at QBTS real quick. How am I doing on time? All right. Got to move quickly. So, look, guys, on this drop in QBTS, this is a profit take. It will probably continue. We do have decelerated volume, right? Which means when you have decreasing volume with decreasing price, it's searching for support and is usually a reversal incoming. If volume was doing that, we would have an accelerated drop. I put in this buy zone right here for those people who haven't entered it or wanted to size in. And if you're long, you need to be on the other side of this, right? So this is the area to buy at support, but that's also a resistance point if you own it lower like I do. So you could be in around 30 to 32 on your stop loss and then buy it lower if it drops. My stop loss is below this lower time frame because this is a very long-term trade for me and I bought this thing at $8. That means I've given up $30,000 on this drop, but I'm willing to do that because I want to hold it to the hundreds of dollars where it's going to head in 5 years, right? Unlike Pony and BBAI where I took profit already in the same sector. All right, you got to know your trade plan, and I'm honoring that trade plan right now. So, all right. If you guys want to learn this stuff, buy my course, offer money back guarantee. Do you know anybody else out there that offers a money back guarantee on their course? You can join my free Discord, but listen, join my VIP and trade with me every day. It's a 7-day free trial. I don't have anybody who doesn't pay for their membership by just trading with me. So let's get into your questions and tickers. If I don't get to them here, because I have to get to my paid people here soon, you can always come to my Discord, tag me in it, and I'll throw you up a chart. All right. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I've worked on my lighting in my background in this whole setup, right? I'm not a tech guy. Shout out to Harsh. He's on the live for all his hard work and helped me get this set up. Thoughts on OWL and FCX. So OWL. All right. That's one I don't think I've ever charted. Usually when people ask, I have them charted. Let's look. So you need let's throw this IPO anchored VWAP in there. Let's make this white. It helps me remember. Guys, I recommend you use the same color coding for everything so that you know what it is. So let's grab. You need a lot more technicals on these charts, but in the time that I have with you, I trust the anchored VWAPs first and foremost. I double weight them. If you've read Brian Shannon's book, you know why. If you haven't read it, then it's the best $50 you can spend. All right, so just a quick look here. It's up pre-market, downside. So if you like the thesis, I don't know anything about it. It is coming into earnings report, so be careful. But if you buy it here, your stop loss goes right below this white line. If you want a little greater risk, below this wick. So you're looking at your risk would be between 1585 and 1650, we'll call it, and upside potential is probably to this next VWAP, and you have a price cluster here. So there you go. FCX. If I miss what you guys are talking about, Go to my Discord and ask me. It's a dividend paying free for it. So look, this, you see this gap? This is called a pivot swing. So it gapped down, it re-entered, and it pivot swung, and now it's finding resistance. I don't think this thing's a buy until it clears that box. Unless you want to buy entry on this box and have a tight stop loss. I don't know anything about the stock, but that's my quick look. That gap, find out why it gapped down. You got to understand the catalyst. All right. Let's see what other tickers you have, if any. And then I'll get to my pre-market volume leader. We'll talk about that. I throw that in my free Discord, the trade plan. But if you want to trade it live, because numbers change, you got to be in my VIP. USCR coin. Is that a crypto? What do you think about? Talk about the ETF. Let me know in Discord, and we'll look at it. Tesla, Zeta. Tesla. I went over Tesla. Upside resistance is 490. Downside support is 400. No. Holy cow! I can't spell today, guys. Is that the ticker you're asking for, Daniel? Let's see here. Let's look. You can see I've charted. I was charting it back in 2022. I've charted so many damn stocks. Let's get rid of some of this. So stay with me. I've got a pre-market volume leader, then we'll get out of here, guys. So. Ooh, look at that gap down drop. All right. See what's going on in this bad boy. All right, so this is the all-time high anchored VWAP. I think if you like the thesis, it's tradable on this uptrend. You need to have this recent low anchored VWAP in there too. I like making those green. Yeah, I don't know much about this stock, but on the technical side, it's given a buy signal on a close above this anchored VWAP, so you could trade plan it if you like it and you're looking for a long position. You can buy it in here and use the IPO anchored VWAP or this change in trends anchored VWAP, and then try to run it up to its recent high or furthermore. And that's about a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, or if you think it's going to be explosive. But watch volume right now. The problem is you see that sellers are still in control of this stock in this time period. So you want to close with a nice volume spike. You may wait for a double close. It's actually textbook 2-day close above that anchored VWAP. That's what I'd look for. If you have questions about that, bro, you know you can reach out to me. You're a good trader yourself, so let me know your thoughts. Shoot me a DM. Let's talk about it. All right, guys. Quick on time here, just because I got to get to my traders. I'm a little slower with this new format. Sorry, I know I'm clunky just because I'm trying to navigate around it, but let's get into it. Pre-market volume leader is Nerve. Yeah, you bet, Daniel. So Nerve is a pre-market volume leader with a move up of 170% on a financing deal. Make sure you go read and understand it. It is a biotech. Previous day close was 266. Pre-market high is 762. That's where your Fibonacci range goes. My area of interest, and of course I have the VWAP, which is also equal to the catalytic VWAP. So a lot of times that happens on these news dumps. My area of interest is this green box between 5 and 6 where I want to see my read, and we run it 10%. And guys, the good news is the 10% is threshold should be within the VWAP, which is almost the classical play I look for these pre-market volume leaders. We traded this before. This is one I've traded before, and it was at higher prices than it is now. So it does have potential. As of right now, in order to get into our area of interest, it has to drop through that VWAP. Okay, this thing may tap that VWAP and run up, but I honor my trade plan and I will not chase it. You guys know that. So I dropped this trade plan in my free pre-market, or my free Discord. If you want to go check it out, but if you want to trade it live with me, join my VIP. Guys, have a good one. We'll do it. We'll do it again tomorrow. I'm going to head off to my traders. Join me, please. Join me. 7 free days. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay. It's pretty simple. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll be back.